Hey guys, so this is going to be a quick follow-up video to my last video on Dylan Roof. This is, as you can see, another car video. I'm on my way to this meeting and I'm filming it on my phone, and I'm probably not going to be able to upload it until like super late, so this video is probably going to go up at like 2 o'clock in the morning, but whatever. And I just wanted to address something. I addressed it a little bit in the comment section of my last video, but I actually felt like it was important enough to make a separate video on for you guys. And I just wanted to talk about something that I see a lot of like people saying, which is that, you shouldn't want the death penalty for Dylan Roof because that's not going to end racism. I've like seen various iterations of this floating around from a lot of Black academics, as I like to call them, across various platforms, from various media outlets and social media, but also lots of think pieces like swirling around. As soon as it was announced that, they voted to get him the death penalty, a lot of people started saying, well, we shouldn't want the death penalty for Dylan Roof because that's like not gonna end racism. I don't understand. I feel like I don't understand this logic. I don't really understand this line of thinking. I just feel like it's a really slippery slope because it's like, well, giving Dylan Roof life in prison is also not going to end racism. Prosecuting him for what he did is also not going to end racism. Why are we even prosecuting him? Like, we're just going to turn him into a martyr. We should have just like let him go, like I feel like a lot of this stuff is very, like I said in my tablet activism video, there's a lot of talking heads. There's a lot of people that are talking just to talk. They say these things because it's their job. It's their job to write fucking hot takes, and it's their job to kind of come up with this material. And I think that a lot of these people think that they're smart, super smart, and they write these think pieces that are very condescending, and they state the fucking obvious. I did a thread on Twitter where I was like, thanks Captain fucking Obvious. We all know Ta-Nehisi Coates, who's brilliant, who's done some really brilliant writing on race, and on race relations in this country, wrote a think piece last year, like summer of 2016, when they were originally deliberating over what they should do with Dylan Roof, saying, killing Dylan Roof, he literally wrote this down in the piece, killing Dylan Roof is not gonna end racism, and it's like, well, fucking duh, we know killing Dylan Roof is not gonna end racism. I don't think anyone genuinely believes that fucking giving Dylan Roof the death penalty and killing him is going to magically end racism. There's these bloggers and Twitter celebrities, and I saw someone describe them as infopreneurs, people that have made a career off of like this disseminating information, and they're saying like the bones of white supremacy are still going to be there after they kill Dylan Roof, and all the racism that you deal with on the day-to-day is still going to be there after they kill Dylan Roof, so why should they kill him? It's like, well, why should they do anything then? Because all that shit is still going to be there. That is completely separate from what it means, in my opinion, to prosecute Dylan Roof, to give him life in prison, or to kill him. All of the day-to-day racism, microaggressions, the infrastructure, the systemic nature of our, of the system of racism, white supremacy, of course that is not Dylan Roof alone, of course that is not any of these individual incidents and people. Of course that is not, none of that shit magically went away when Barack Obama was elected either, So I think it's just very rude and condescending and naive and obnoxious to assume that people don't know this, and that people are happy about this verdict because they think that now racism is over. I think that a lot of people cannot stand to see Black people fucking happy about something for once. They can't stand to see us actually fucking rejoicing over something, so they have to like remind us. And I feel like I've talked about this on this channel before. So they have to remind us racism's still gonna be there tomorrow, so don't get happy, niggas, And I just find it really, really interesting conceptually, because no individual one thing is going to completely dismantle these systems of oppression, and duh, you know? And I wrote a thread on Twitter, which I can't open because I'm filming on my phone, but I wrote a thread on Twitter that was like, you know, a lot of you guys you're missing the point. The point is not about, just like I said in my last video on this, the point is not about punishing him. The point is not about rehabilitating him. The point is about the principle of what he did as a crime against humanity, and showing that that type of behavior is not going to be tolerated in our fucking society. That is what it is about. That is what it means, you know? This is the first type of this type of verdict handed down for a hate crime. That is a big deal, you know? And I left a comment on my last video saying, you know, make an example. All these fucking hate crimes, you know, all these people that commit these fucking hate crimes, make an example out of them that hate, especially since we're about to fucking inaugurate this orange Cheeto, that hate is not gonna be fucking tolerated. It is not going to be acceptable, you know? And I feel like that is the bigger picture, and a lot of people are getting caught up in their own personal feelings of how they do or don't feel about the death penalty, and they're kind of missing that, and they're making it into this other thing about, you know, well, you guys want them to kill Dylan Roof, but that's not going to end racism. And we all know that. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, we know it's about something bigger. It's about the principle of even the fact that he was tried and prosecuted, and the options came up of either life in prison or the death penalty. That's major in what that means for the prosecution of hate crimes in the future. It sets a precedent, right? It sets a historic precedent now that, you know, if you want to fucking risk your life for this white supremacist shit, you go right ahead. There's a chance that you're gonna get the death penalty or life in fucking prison. So you want to throw your life away on this shit? Fine, we're not gonna fucking let that shit slide, you know? That is the precedent that it can set, and that, I feel like, is why it's important, not because we think that it's ending racism. Like, shut the hell up. And all these think pieces about how we shouldn't kill him because it's not going to do anything about racism are just so short-sighted to me. Like y'all really just are not getting it. Like, you're not getting why it's important. You're not getting why it's resonating with people, you know? And I also think a lot of it has to do with, and I said this in my Twitter thread, not people having this like fundamental misunderstanding of white people and still feeling like, you know, they can talk to white people in this certain way, they can deal with them in this certain civilized way, when like they're not fucking civilized. You're dealing with people that like collectively don't have a conscience. They've never been held accountable for their actions over centuries of essentially waging war against African Americans in this country and black people and also other people of color worldwide. You're dealing with people that have never had to deal with any type of repercussions for their actions, that have no empathy, that have this taste for brutality and savagery, and you guys feel like you can rehabilitate them and you can put them in prison, and you know, and it's just like I said in my last video, like, you're not going to change the mind of Dylan Roof. You're not going to fucking rehabilitate him. He feels how he feels, you know? And I just think it's really, really interesting to see the things that a lot of these black academics, you know, these people with these huge followings are saying. And like I said, I do think a lot of it is tabloid activism, saying shit just to say it for a fucking check, like, or assuming that you're smarter than everybody else in the room and that you're the only one that gets that this isn't going to end racism, and the rest of us that are happy about it are fucking buffoons and idiots. Like, actually, you're the one that's missing the bigger picture, you condescending, arrogant asshole, and maybe you should look up the definition of hubris and what that shit means, because a lot of people are fucking suffering from that shit in these social media, digital media, print media, online streets, you know? I wish I could read you guys my full thread, but I will post a link to it. It was mostly just breaking down, you know, just the importance of what this means, you know? Like, it's sending a message. It's about, you know, oh shit. It's about showing white people that they are going to be held accountable for their actions, you know? Be it killing Dylan Roof, be it putting him in prison, it sends the message that those 9 black lives do matter. It doesn't send the message that racism is over, but it sends the message that those 9 black lives do fucking matter. When they found fucking officer rapist guilty of raping those black women, and they fucking gave him like 500 fucking years of jail time or whatever. Like that is like, these black lives do matter, and that is important. And you're not gonna downplay that by saying, I don't know why you niggas are excited, because that's not gonna end racism. Like, shut your dumb ass up. Why you always gotta piss in somebody's fucking Cheerios, my dude? Like, shut up. So yeah, I just wanted to make this quick video, follow-up video, to say that, because I see a lot of that going around, and I just find it to be really, really, really interesting. So I will have the thread in the description box so you guys can check it out, because I can't read it while I'm talking to you guys. So food for thought as always. See you guys next time. Well, not see you. Peace.